few months ago, I posted a video about females who were murdered and their cases remain unsolved. July 10th, 2023, 26 years old Cheryl Phyllis Knight, she was found by relatives in her home with chop wounds to her body. And now, so why am I talking about this again? Well, firstly, it remains unsolved a year later. But most importantly, I was minding my business and scrolling on Facebook when I put up on an article and I began reading it and I was in shock. So the brother of Phyllis, he went to the news and he aired his frustration with the way the police were handling his sister's murder case. He said some pretty interesting things. He said that residents in the area where she lived and the incident took place, they are all suspicious of one person and that all the evidence led to that one person who they think committed the crime. But persons in the area, they are not particularly police officers and investigators, right? So what is he talking about? But wait, it seems as though the residents and the family of Phyllis, they're onto something, because the police also suspected that same person to be responsible for the crime. If the police think he's good for it and the residents think he's good for it, then why isn't he in custody? Very good question. But see, you can't just go based off suspicion. You have to have solid evidence. So where's the solid evidence? Okay. Well, according to the brother, DNA was collected at the crime scene. And DNA was also collected from that very same person who is the suspect. And now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wait, this should be easy. Just get the DNA tested and see if they match and they could eliminate if he's not. And if he is, then just arrest him and charge him for the crime. But, hold up. Because according to the brother, he was told that the DNA samples were sitting in some office somewhere in town. And okay, so the DNA is a holdup, and we know how DNA works because we don't have our own lab here. And so it would take some time. So now what else do they have to go on that would cause them to accuse the police and the investigators of dragging their feet with this murder investigation? Well, according to the brother, the day in question when his sister was unalived, the police had found bloody clothing downstairs the house, and it appeared as though the person who committed the crime changed over into different clothes and left the scene. But not only that, because there was also a continuous drip of blood and footsteps leading away from the body of Phyllis. And this clearly indicated that the person sustained some type of injury during the altercation. And again, according to the brother, there was a suspect who appeared to have an injury on the leg out of nowhere. But he claimed that he got that injury from falling out of a tree and he was treated at the hospital. But that's where that stopped, because the police did not dig deeper into his claim as to where he got the injury, and they did not dig deeper to get any more information from the suspect. And so now with all this information and the frustration with the police not seemingly doing their job, the brother along with the family, they're questioning things and they're asking, like, why is the DNA test still not being sent to Jamaica for testing? And he was told that it was not being done because of lack of funds. But then the family offered to pay to get it done. But they were told that civilians cannot do that because it was not a civil matter, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And a year later, and this is where the family is at, they're left with no answers and no closure. But what do you think about this case? Do you think that the family should be able to pay to get DNA testing done? Or do you think that it should be left to the police officers and the investigators? The family should just be patient and wait? Or do you agree with the brother that the police officers and the police department is being very incompetent and dragging their feet with this investigation? Let me know what you think.